Good morning, welcome back. So in my last video, I showed you how to do a frequency distribution. A lot of times when we do a frequency distribution, though, we also like to do a visual representation that's known as a histogram. A histogram is one of the most common uh, graphical ways to portray a frequency distribution. So, we'll use the same example I had before. Patient ages. So we have a random sample of 85 patient ages. We had to manually create our classes. So we did that. In the last video, we also put our upper limit of each class. Remember, our upper limit is the highest number that we want in each class. So in this class, for example, 0 to under 20, we didn't want the age of 20 included in that class. It'll actually be included in the next class. So the highest age that we want in this first class is 19. Once we have that all set up, we're just going to do like what we did for frequency distribution. We're going to use our data analysis. So we're going to go to our data menu up on the top, go to data, slide across to the right until we find data analysis. Click on that. And we actually do want to do a histogram this time, so we're going to keep histogram selected. Perfect. Now, this was in there from before. So A3 to A87 was our input range. That's all of our raw data. Our bin range is our upper limits of the classes. So it should be D4 through D9. I did not include labels. My output range, this is where I want it to actually portray my frequency distribution and my histogram. So output range is, I'm going to say C13. So it's going to start it in cell C13. And then I'm going to come down here and I'm actually going to click on chart output. So I know sorted histogram looks like one that we might want to do, but we're not going to actually do it. We're just going to do chart output. Once again, once we've got that selected, we'll hit OK. And you can see it's created a histogram for us. Now, the histogram's not 100% accurate yet, because what we want is where it says bin, we're going to replace that with patient ages. So I'm just going to select patient ages. I'm going to copy that data with Control C and then replace where it says bin, Control V. Perfect. And then I'm going to get rid of this last column, the column more. I don't want that. And we can see it's messed up our histogram a little bit here. We're just going to format that. And then I'll put in our borders. Sometimes this takes just a couple minutes to make sure that you've got it the way you want it. Let's see, I lost a border there, so I'll just add it back in. Perfect. There's my frequency distribution. Here is my histogram. I'm just going to make it a little bit bigger here so we can see what's going on. All right, so we've got our basic histogram. And what we can do is we can change the title by clicking on the title. So we're just going to call this patient ages. So down here where it says bin, I'm just going to change that to age. And we'll leave that as frequency. Perfect. If we wanted to, we could definitely format that. There's lots of options here. When we click on the chart, we can go to the plus sign, chart elements. So axis titles, chart titles, data labels. Say we want data labels included. We'll just check that off. And then Oh, I want to go to chart styles, which is just below the plus there. And I can change over my chart style. Perfect. The one thing that you might note here is that unfortunately, Excel does not do a great job when it comes to histograms. Histograms are supposed to um, have the bars attached to one another to show that it could be continuous data. It's not supposed to have these gaps. Unfortunately, Excel puts those gaps under. So there we go. We've created a histogram and whoops, we formatted it a little bit just to make it look nice and pretty. Feel free to do that. As another thing here, you'll see that we've got some grid lines added in. We don't necessarily need those in a histogram. So if you don't want those, just go back and we can take out the grid lines. Same with legend. We don't need the legend there. And there we go. We've created a histogram. Hope you enjoyed that video. Our next video is going to be on frequency polygon, and then we're going to do one using a cumulative frequency polygon.